Okay, what's up, y'all? This is my introduction part. I believe we're on part 4 now. Yeah, I think this is part 4. If not, it's gonna be part 3. In the past 2 intros, I pretty much gave you like my upbringing and then, my transition through high school and then like 2, 3 years after high school and how that went. So now I'm gonna walk y'all into my early stages of my adult life. Like I consider like the adult life like 21 and above, like 18, you still like a kid technically. And the last point I made, I was kind of starting my journey to like my spiritual journey and going through a lot of spiritual changes when I was 21 and wanted to turn my life around for the better, right? So I ended up moving back to Georgia from Cali. And it was kind of abrupt, but I remember moving one of my friends. Shout out to my boy for coming in. I know he's low key, so I ain't gonna say it's whatever, but shout out to him because he came through clutch, bro. Like didn't even ask me twice or whatever. So I stayed with bro for like maybe like 6 months. Um, Now keep in mind I'm still dabbling, right? But this is like the culmination of me like really getting my life together. So I come back. I think yeah, and I'm trying to get a job here, right? So I get a job at a car wash. This is real story. I get a job at a car wash. Um, Everything's slowing down. I don't think my heart was in it no more, so I wasn't really attracting the type of opportunities to even do what I was doing at this point, just due to all of the spiritual journey that I went through in Cali. And just to touch into that, like when I say spiritual journey, I mean a lot of realizations, a lot of meditations, a lot of journaling, a lot of it's like the veil was lifted, like things that I couldn't see the last 5, 7 years of my life and the people that I was dealing with, like all of that was becoming clear to me. Forces and energies that I was dealing with beyond my physical. So it was like a spiritual journey for me. All right. And then fast forward back to when I get back with my partner. And I'm still dabbling, but I'm like, I really should probably just chill, like God done gave me, let me go all these years unscathed. And then there was like one final moment or whatever was the moment before the moment. I'll tell you about the other moment maybe in the future, but uh, one final moment, something could have went really bad, but it didn't. And I was like, bro, I'm chilling, right? So that's when I really was locked in on the job. But at this time, I'm also still, learning real estate, which I was still studying out in or learning more about when I was out in California. But when I came back, I was like, you know what? I got a plan this time. I'm gonna get licensed, right? So buying the Georgia real estate course, going through the courses like every day, work at your own pace, learning like the terminology, reading the book, studying, highlighting, going crazy on the affirmations, bro. Like, bro, I think he's seen it. Like, I'm having shit taped to the wall. I am that, journaling, plans for the week. And one thing about me, bro, like, I've been documenting my life since 2011, 2010, 2011. So I have about 14, 15 years worth of my whole journey, which hopefully one day I can share more in detail with you all of like how it went. I think that'd be cool. So again, 21 years old, fall, come back to Georgia, want to get licensed, going through the course, still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, still blowing a little bit of gas, not too much, not nothing major. But also that another good thing that happened, like another spiritual thing that happened throughout that process was I started getting more consistent with my fitness, right? Like I always been called bag of bones, skinny, tall, thin my whole life. Uh, and I don't think me smoking on the gas was really helping it because it would give me the munchies and stuff like that. But it was like all that heat and stuff going in. It was hard to maintain weight. And plus, genetically, I was thin. And then I was young, so I had a fast metabolism. So it was just like, whatever. But throughout the process of me going through the gym, like I think around the beginning of 2017, like I was like 22. That's when I finally like really stopped smoking, weed and stuff like that. Like put the blunt down. Like I don't have any dependence on it. And it became a very optional for me. And I think that was like a pivotal moment for me to really go into the next phase of my life, which kind of helped me out a lot. So, we like that was something that I did, for like the past like dang near a decade beforehand. So that's why that was so big for me. And as soon as I made the decision that I didn't need it, that's when a whole nother door opened for me. But I think the biggest thing that came from that is the fact that I'm sorry about that, the camera cut out. So where was I? Yeah, so as far as like the weed and everything goes, it was pivotal because that was something that I was doing for like the last decade, and I felt like I was going to be doing forever, for real. Like it was like a real battle. I think I made a conscious decision that one, like in order for me, like I was met at a crossroads. Like God is trying to bring you here, but you can't get there unless you give this thing up. Now this does not apply for everybody, but this is just my personal experience that I cannot have went to that next level until I stopped smoking. That was just uh, no in between. For me. And then once I did, a couple more doors start opening, and I eventually moved back with my mom. Yeah, like I was still, figuring out. I was going through a lot because I'm reinventing myself in that process. So I think from age 21 when I first got to California to age 20, still to this day I'm still reinventing myself. But I think now at the age of 30, I'm at the next phase from that 21-year-old phase. But I was from 21 to maybe 24. That was like a big reinvention process and stage for me because I'm forgetting who the old version of Marcus was and building and creating the new version of Marcus. And that road is not easy, right? Throughout the process, I'm losing a lot. I'm thinking I'm losing my mind, but I'm really not. It's just me going through the process that I have to go through in order to get to the next level, which requires sacrifice and courage and strength. So if any of y'all are going through something like that, that's a part of life, especially if you're young. It's a part of the process, and it's going to be super painful. I'm telling you, when you're going through it, or if you want to grow into like who God wanted you to be, sometimes it can be difficult. Sometimes you can be unsure. Sometimes you might be fearful or afraid, and you might feel alone. But the biggest thing is just keep God first and keep some people around you that really genuinely believe in you. Keep some good company, like people that are, on that same path of spiritual growth as you. Because a lot of people won't understand your journey for sure, right? So yeah, from the age 21, 23, I'm still going through that journey. Throughout that process, I had another little car that got repossessed, right? Because I'm still going through my journey. I'm being real. That got repossessed. A lot of people, the people I know, they probably like, what the hell did happen to that? I'm telling them, yeah, well, I gave it up for a business investment. But it was a sacrifice, right? Because this is where I'm at the crossroads where I'm stopped selling weed and I'm trying to live a normal life, right? Stop doing illegal things to get ahead, not cheat, get ahead, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, my car got repo. You know what? And I remember I was embarrassed. I was feeling all kind of emotions. I was embarrassed. I wanted to try my best to get it back. And then I remember like shortly after in that moment, I was like, you know what? I felt relieved because I felt like I finally let go. I finally let go of like that old version of myself because I could have easily just called somebody and be like, hey, bro, let me get a woo 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 woo, put me back home, right? And then all that, it would have been done. Like I would have still had it, but it wasn't meant. I had to go through that. It wasn't meant for me to have that. It was I had to go through that in order to grow. And I'm thankful that I did because it allowed me to go to the next level to where I was able to develop skill sets that could get me and generate me income in a legal fashion, in a legal way, right? So you guys see how all of these things are leading into our elevation, our growth. That's pretty much where we are. All right, I'm trying to get through this, y'all. All right, so 21 to 23, 24 to 27. So by this time, I'm not, selling those whatever, not selling drugs to get by. Keep in mind, I wasn't one of those type of dude. I'm not. it's right is wrong is wrong, but I'm not moving bricks, heroin and stuff that's killing people, or no fent or nothing fake. I'm just selling herb and stuff just to pay bills and stuff. But again, I'm not justifying it. If you in a state where you can't illegally sell that shit, don't do it because you will go to jail. If you ain't got no money for no lawyer, you're burnt. Um, but yeah, 24 to 27 at this point, I'm not even smoking. I'm not even smoking. Got a job selling cars, right? It's legal. And I get my own apartment, right? Finally get my own place I can call my own. And that was going good. That was going really good. And I was learning, I was still, practicing my real estate, getting into, adulthood more, living life righteously. But at this time, I picked up a habit of alcohol, right? The devil just slither his ass in all kind of ways, right? And and I think me selling cars kind of stem from that because a lot of people who sell cars be on that drink. You know what I'm saying? So, uh, went into that. Still doing the real estate. Got my apartment. Things going good. Met my girlfriend at the time, who was amazing, right? She really helped me become more of a compassionate person. Like I already was very grounded and a caring person, but she was next level, right? Treat others how you want to be treated. Be nice to people. Being kind, right? So that was another phase of my journey, and I'm not really going super deep because of the sake of the video and the time. So yeah, that was good. And then at this point, I'm learning how to wholesale. Like I'm co-wholesaling. I'm real estate. I'm working and I'm making some little bit of money on the side from real estate. And then I also at like 23, 24, I skipped a part. I had a mentor and he helped me put together like my first passive real estate transaction. Like I became like a property manager, but like in a creative way to where I was making like creative, like not traditional. So I managed the property for her while she was out of town and I was able to make like $300 a month passive income. I was like, whoa, I ain't even own this thing. So that was another part where like, okay, dang, like life is getting better. Like you can make money legit, like, and it's coming in passive. Kind of like how when I was, doing my thing. Um, so all of these different things just opening my eyes up. And then I take the leap of faith. After a year, I start selling cars from age like 24 to 25. Stopped at the end of 2019 at the age of 24, right before COVID hit. And that January, like on my birthday, on my 25th birthday, I made like a $10,000 check from real estate. I was like, dang, bro, like this is something I can really do this, like for sure. And I remember how good it made me feel because it was like, damn, like in that moment, I realized all of the last 5 years of me like trying to learn all this stuff finally came to pay off, and it felt really good, and I never really wanted to look back from that. So yeah, that was pretty much from age 24 to 27. So now we getting closer to my other age, and back to the alcohol. Like I'm still going along my journey, but I finally mastered the marijuana situation, right, and then the alcohol came about, right? So that was a whole nother demon that I had to fight. And then I got control over that. Like, I'm not saying like I was an alcoholic, but I was damn near borderline. Like, I ain't gonna front. Like, me and my partners from the car dealership, we drinking every day. I got one. I'm still doing a little bit of real estate, but I'm not taking it seriously. I'm still doing it as a hobby, and I'm still figuring it out, right? So, and me, like, I used to be really hard on myself, and I still am, but not to that extent about like not progressing. 2020, COVID hits, wholesaling real estate, and I'm doing deals, bro. Like the whole year, didn't have a job, and then it's been ups and downs, right? From that 2020, it's been times where I had to go back and get employment because the months are going slow. Throughout this process, I'm still learning, right? Still learning to this day. Still making mistakes, not the same ones that I made 3, 4 years ago, but I'm still making mistakes. I'm still learning, and I think I'm going to wrap that up right here because there's still so much more along this journey that I want to share with you all and grow with you all and kind of hear you all stories as well. And in the future, maybe I can give you all like a previous life update over the last 3 years, but I think that's a good bit for now, just so y'all can kind of know who I am, who talking to y'all. and also let you all know that, you know, we all have a purpose in life, and however that may look, whatever you went through, the biggest thing is just don't give up on yourself. There's been plenty of times where I've been depressed, waking up with no purpose, not even wanting to get out of bed, bro. Like I cannot make this up. So if you have went through that before, you're not alone. This is a very normal thing. If you're growing, if you don't really have any plans on growing, then you, you might not go through as much um, setbacks, or maybe you will. I don't know. But I do know from me being intentional and really wanting to figure out why I'm on this earth, there have been many challenges, many tests of faith that have been along the way. But I appreciate y'all, just hearing me out. And I'm going to be chatting with y'all soon. Peace.